and they're kind of afraid of hurting John? Of you hurting John?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are they afraid that you might hurt them?
Yep.
What if I told you that in 1968, an 11-year-old girl was responsible for the death of not one, but 2 children? Her name was Mary Bell, and her story will haunt you. This is not a story about innocence lost. It's a story about darkness hiding behind the face of a child. Welcome to the chilling case of Mary Bell, a case that shook the entire world. The year was 1968. Newcastle, England, was a working-class town with streets filled with children running and playing, but hidden behind the laughter of the playground was a secret no one could have imagined. Mary Bell was like any other child in appearance, but her mind held something terrifying. At just 11 years old, she had already experienced a lifetime of neglect, violence, and emotional trauma. It was May 25th, 1968, when tragedy struck for the first time. 4-year-old Martin Brown was found dead in an abandoned house. The cause of death was unclear at first, an accident perhaps. But what no one knew was that Martin had been murdered, and his killer was standing in plain sight. Mary Bell, along with her friend Norma, lurked near the scene, seemingly fascinated by what had happened. But there was something more sinister brewing inside Mary's mind. Just 2 months later, on July 31st, another young boy, 3-year-old Brian Howe, would be found dead. This time, there were chilling clues left behind. Brian's body was mutilated. A disturbingum was carved into his chest with scissors. The police were now dealing with something far more chilling than they ever imagined. But who could be responsible? Who would do such a thing? The police started to investigate, and soon the name Mary Bell surfaced. Neighbors had seen her acting strangely, and her behavior around the crime scenes became suspicious. What shocked investigators the most was Mary's demeanor. She showed no signs of guilt, no remorse. In fact, when questioned about Brian's murder, she chillingly replied, "I wanted to hurt him." At just 11 years old, Mary Bell was charged with the murders of Martin Brown and Brian Howe. During her trial, the world watched in disbelief. How could someone so young be capable of such horror? The trial revealed the dark and abusive past Mary had suffered, particularly at the hands of her mother, who was a violent woman with severe mental health issues. But could her upbringing alone explain the evil that lay within her? In December 1968, Mary Bell was convicted of manslaughter, not murder, due to diminished responsibility. The court ruled that she had a psychopathic personality. She was sentenced to life in detention. Mary Bell would spend the next several years in various detention centers, eventually being released in 1980 under a new identity. But even today, the question lingers. Can a person who committed such horrific crimes as a child ever truly be rehabilitated? The case of Mary Bell remains one of the most disturbing child criminal cases in history, a child capable of murder. But was she born this way, or was she shaped by the cruelty around her? What do you think? Is evil something we are born with, or something we become? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more unsettling true crime stories, because sometimes the scariest monsters are the ones we never see coming.